you. Okay, so we are starting 2024. How I've been starting most of my meetings is asking people what's one word that you want to kind of use as your anchor for 2024. What's that one word that you think of at the end of the year? You want to feel a certain type of way, but you're going to need something to guide and anchor you along that journey. Put that one word either in your journal or in the chat, because again, it's what's going to help guide you as you go through the year, whether it's helping you recommit to your goal, if it's thinking about elevating, if it's thinking about growth, abundance, whatever that is, increase, whatever that is for you. Make sure you make a note of that, because I would love to know what it is that's going to guide you throughout this year. Okay, so again, I'm letting people in to today's LinkedIn Live. Just checking who's joined us. There we go. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. Make sure you unmute my line. I was checking it also on LinkedIn. So I think I'm good to go now. So now let's talk leadership. Let's talk legacy. I was recently awarded the Transformative Leadership Award from the Atlanta Black Chambers last week. And let me tell you, it was truly an honor and a blessing. And this year, or 2023, so last year, I've had the privilege to work with leaders, men and women across the world. I counted and I was like, I supported leaders in 13 different countries last year, which was truly a blessing. But thinking about leadership, it has me thinking about legacy and the impact that we can have in our lives, in our businesses, and in our careers. So before we get started, I do want to differentiate leaders versus managers. When I'm talking leaders, but when I'm talking managers, so that's people who guide the day-to-day. That's people who give, daily instructions to help people in their role, help people, along their way from a professional standpoint. Those are your managers, people who are dealing with the day-to-day responsibilities and coaching and performance of their employees. But leader is different because it's not based on title. It's not based on if you have direct reports or not. Leadership is about leading, influencing, and guiding people toward a common goal. And I would even say the word encouraging and inspiring people toward a common goal. So it's actually not dependent on if you have direct reports, because you can lead at any and every aspect of your career, of your business, and in your life. So I want you to think for yourself, and you know me, I'm going to have you write this down. What type of leader do you want to be? Because I want you to reflect on your own leadership and your own leadership journey, as well as your leadership goals. I love this quote that I saw that someone shared with me, and they said, you are the expert on your intention, kind of how you intend to lead, how you intend to perform, how you intend to be. You are the expert on your intentions. However, the people around you are the experts on your impact. Because whether you intend to do something or not, if it's not impacting the people around you, they are the experts on that. And that's an opportunity for you to say, maybe I need to do some course correcting. Maybe I need to do some adjustments in my style. So I want you to think of your leadership goals. And again, you're going to write that down. And I'm going to give you some tips to help you become a more effective leader and to help you aligning to your intentions with the impact. Now let's talk about leadership goals. What is it that you want to accomplish? What do you want to be known for? I like to share, one of my questions is, at the end of your retirement party, but it doesn't even have to be that far in advance. It could be, you move on to another assignment and they're having cake for you in the break room. What do you want people saying about your leadership style? This is a time for you to really be reflective on what it is that you want and what your goals you want to be for leadership. So I was working with a CIO, a recently appointed CIO in the UK. And so we were talking about her leadership goals. What does she want to be known for? She goes, Michelle, I'm very much in a technical role, but I want to be known for a leader who leads with compassion, empathy, and I want to get results. And so that was the goal that she defined for her leadership. So then that's an opportunity for you to put your goals. And then the key about your goals is it has to align with your overall purpose. What is your purpose in your career? What is your purpose in life? And how does that leadership style align with it? So when we talked about her purpose, she goes, no matter where I go, no matter what role I am, I want to be a person a leader who approaches the environment with a head and heart approach. So I want be a leader who has a head and a heart approach to leadership, and that I impact people in all that I do. And I said, wow, that's powerful, because that can transcend everything that you do, no matter the role that you're in. I can share most people, when they get stuck with purpose, is they align their purpose to a specific role. They align their purpose to a specific business. There's a specific thing that they're doing at the moment. And I want you to go a little bit higher than that. I want you to go 30,000 feet. And when you look at the footprint of your life and you look at the string of your life and your career, what is that thing that's going to thread all of the roles, all of the business journeys, all of the personal things that you do? That's kind of where we're going to go with purpose. I'll talk more about that throughout the year, but we had to elevate the thinking. And so she says, that's my purpose. My purpose is to be a leader who has a head and a heart approach to all that I do, that I lead with compassion and empathy, and that I also lead with results. And so that was a beautiful blend for her. And so your role is to think, you talked about the goals that you want to achieve, the type of leader that you want to be. How does that align with your purpose in your life, in your business? So I'm going to do a quick pause, making sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. And if so, put your feedback in. Would love to hear your thoughts on your leadership goals or your leadership journey. And if you're ready, you can put your purpose in there too, because I would love to celebrate you. So we talked about the leadership goals. We talked about the purpose. The other thing I encouraged her to do was say, okay, now how can you create an environment where that can flourish? So as a leader, again, whether you're managing people or whether you are managing indirect reports or you're a project lead, how can you create that environment that's going to allow you and others to thrive? And so in that sense, we talked a lot about building the culture of the organization, where you do allow and you promote and train people on having compassion, that you demonstrate self-compassion and empathy toward others. And then we also talked about having that high performance culture. So we did a lot of work in terms of building the culture to support her journey. But I would encourage you to think about, what's the environment where you can thrive? What's the environment that you are creating for you to thrive? Key note here. Ooh, this is good. So this is a little plug in here. Most people, when they're interviewing for jobs, I always share, ask about the culture of the organization, the type of leaders who thrive in that culture, the type of leaders who are in that culture. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm going to give you this for free. One of the things I encourage people to ask when they're asking about culture is, tell me about your last your employment engagement survey. What was the feedback that you all received from employees regarding things that the organization does well as things that the organization can improve? So the same way that you're being asked about your development, things that you do well, opportunities, your weaknesses, areas for development, is the same thing you should be asking organizations, because that could be a sign or a tip in regard to the organizational culture. Because if you want to have these goals and in aligning with your purpose, you've got to make sure that you're in good ground and good soil where that can flourish. That was good. Make sure y'all write that down. The other point that I want to share with regard to your leadership journey and your leadership footprint, and I talked about earlier, I said, other people are the expert on your impact. So the key thing for you is to be self-aware. I have done many behavioral assessments, personality assessments, organizational assessments, and I'm always asked, Michelle, what's the best behavior style, leadership style for someone to be effective? What's the best one to be the best leader? You need to have this behavioral style, this personality trait, etc. My feedback is simple. The best leaders are those who are self-aware. It's those who pay attention to the style and the impact that they have on others, pay attention to those cues, those who pay attention to the feedback that they receive, whether it's through verbal or nonverbal communication. So, what do you mean by nonverbal? How do we pay attention to that? So, if you are saying, I want to be a collaborative leader that creates an environment for people to share and be open, and we brainstorm together, and that's how I want to work with through collaboration. And you notice in a meeting, no one's talking, then you notice that people are not being collaborative, right? If people aren't sharing, if people don't feel safe in a space where they can share things that are going well, or if they've made a mistake, and you notice that you're not getting that feedback, you're not getting that response, maybe that's not what you are, the impact that you're having. So that could be an opportunity to make adjustments. But that's what I talk about when I mean self-aware. So paying attention to the verbal and nonverbal cues of people that you're around to say, ooh, am I creating the impact that I desire? So the key trait for any successful leader is self-awareness. And so we talked about your leadership goals, making sure they align with their purpose, making sure they're an environment where you can thrive. And another part is being self-aware. Now, I want you to think of this kind of as we kind of wrap this up here, because making sure I'm good on time here. As we're wrapping up today's discussion, and you have some takeaways and some homework, as I always give you, but I want you to think of this. You are standing, at your retirement party, and you're hearing what people are saying. Is it aligned with those things that you wrote down earlier? Or if you can say, ooh, Michelle, maybe I've been a little, with business goals and being aggressive. Maybe I have not displayed the style that I want that people to say about me. That's okay. This is where the self-correction comes into play. And the thing about self-correction is it just takes time, being aware, self-aware, adapting your behavior, but understanding that it will take time to change people's perception. But you can, but you have to be intentional. As I mentioned earlier, I did receive an award from the chamber, the Atlanta Black Chambers, last week regarding leadership. And I remember people, standing on the stage and saying, things about me as a leader. And I was moved to tears. There were a lot of tears. I didn't want to mess up my makeup, but I did. But what moved me was that how I wanted to be, leader that I wanted to be, I'd have found that there was alignment in the leader that I was. And that truly blessed my spirit, that blessed my soul. So that is then for you to think, is the leader that you want to be, the leader that you intend to be, is that aligning with the leader that you are? And so again, this is a no judgment zone. This is not a right or wrong, but this is truly an opportunity for you to be reflective. And then as you go into 2024, be intentional on building your leadership muscle. So again, Michelle Glover, thank you so much for tuning into this LinkedIn Live. We talked about legacy and leadership and leaving that footprint. Hope you join me I think I'm going to do these once a month, maybe the second Thursday of the month at 2:00. So make sure you join me for our LinkedIn Lives for more discussions about your purpose journey and how you can be the best purposeful leader that you desire to be. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in and bye for now.